Chasing trail, kicking up dirt, sweating my eyes, but it don't hurt. Fast feet, loose rocks, send it full sail. Ain't no stopping, we chasing trail.
Hello everybody and welcome to Chasing Trail. I am your host, Teddy Tonelli, aka Teddy Tahoe, and today I have an incredible guest for you. Our guest is a runner, she's a mom, and says here she's a weather lady. Please welcome Holly Ryerson. Holly, how you doing?
Yeah, hi. Holly couldn't be here this morning. She's busy doing more important things. Most
Oh,
importantly, she's preparing to run Canyon's 50K this Saturday.
oh wow.
But I've been acting as her sports agent, so I'm happy to answer any questions on Holly's behalf.
Oh, okay. This is a surprise for me. I thought that Holly was gonna make it, but that's okay. We'll take her representation any day of the week. I would say that it's better to have Holly here than her representative, but you know what? Hey, beggars can't be choosers. All right. Is there something I should address you by other than Holly's representative, or I'm tell me.
Well, first of all, what's your name?
My name is oh, sorry, I'm a little nervous right now. My name's Teddy.
Teddy.
Yeah,
Just
Teddy
Teddy.
Tonelli, aka Teddy Tahoe, Teddy Tornado. You may have heard of me.
Oh, well, that name's kind of gross. But
Okay.
anyways,
Oh boy.
my name's Local Woman. And if, you'd like, I'm happy to give you like a 90-minute, overview on me and my life and, what I go through. I have a story to tell too. But if you want to talk about Holly, that would be fine.
Okay. Maybe I'll have some questions for you, or maybe what we do is we'll set up another podcast, and I have you come on and you tell me about your story because it does sound. I mean, if you're managing somebody like Holly, I'm just gonna say that it's a very important job. I mean, I'm looking here, okay. I just want to maybe you could correct me while I'm wrong. I have a few highlights I'd like to go through about Holly. It says that for me, Holly kind of jumped onto the scene in 2023. For me, she's been running for a long time, but 2023, this she comes in, she takes the third place at the Ray Miller 50 miler. She podiums, got third place at the Mammoth Triple Crown. I mean, huge year for Holly. And then 2024, it was like a rebuild. And then out of freaking nowhere, she comes in 2025, opens it up with a can of whoop ass, and she's coming in at this is a Sean O'Brien first place. Not like 9 hours and 50 minutes or some crazy. This is accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I think just not to downplay her accomplishments, but nobody was at those races. I don't know. I think she had an easy in, I just, personally, I think I could have run a little bit faster than her. And I
Okay.
think, it's just not fair for everyone to be focused on Holly when, I'm out there trying too.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I mean, I just was just saying that it's really impressive. I'll look up Local Woman on Ultra Sign Up, but it actually brings me to my next thing. You said Holly's running the Cannon's 50K here. Teddy is actually going to be out there, and we'll wave and say hi and all that. We're gonna go out there for the 100K, but that's really exciting. I looked at Ultra Sign Up. I didn't see her on there. I was looking. I was like, what big plans does she have this year? Is it just Canyon's 50K? What is she planning?
Yeah, well, Holly likes to keep things loose and she just kind of blows in the wind. And I personally don't understand that. I like to journal and plan and, kind of look into my own self and assess. But I guess talking about Holly, if you want, yeah, Canyon's 50K, a top secret FKT attempt on the Pacific Crest Trail sometime this
Oh,
summer. Um, Mountain Tiger Donner Summit, July 26th, an 11-mile race at Sugar Bowl. That one's actually going to be cool. I'll probably be out there too. And
okay.
then Kodiak 100 Mile in October. So, She's got her plate full, but I don't know.
Yeah.
She's not very fast, so I don't think she's going to do that well.
Okay. Wow. I'm just wondering, like, it seems as though there's like a little animosity between you and Holly. Is everything okay over there? I mean, it's like, I know we're talking. The thing is if this is you just wanted to talk about you, I mean, we could talk about you, but I mean, like, you could be a little nicer to Holly,
Well, I
maybe.
mean, we've discussed my commissions on things, and she's been a little unfair. And, I think she doesn't recognize like everything I go through. So she's
Right.
just off running, which is like the most boring thing in the world,
Oh,
like for hours on end. Like
okay.
she's
Yeah,
crazy.
this is a running podcast. Okay. Look, I'm just gonna move ahead here and look. I maybe you wanna answer this. It's okay. You know what? Your perspective may actually be very interesting on this. So I wanted to start out with you being a full-time mom, Holly being a full-time mom and running and working, keeping the household in order, because you know how it is. It's always on the moms. They always falls on the moms. They're always doing the hard work. How does Holly do it?
I don't know. I mean, like personally, I just hire help because how can you ever do that? Like it's impossible. So, I'm, grateful that I have, three wonderful housekeepers and, support and nannies and
You have
drivers. But
three
Holly doesn't
housekeepers
have
and
that.
nannies? Oh my God.
Holly has none of that. And it's, she's a little bit of a peasant in that regard.
Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Okay, so she does it on her own. You obviously hire help. I mean, so you have children, which is concerning, I think. So you have how many nannies you said again?
Well, right.
Holy
There's
crap.
two in transition. They're coming. I'm waiting
Yeah.
for their visas to be approved, but six at the
Yeah.
moment. But my three boys are in boarding school in Utah, and my daughter's in New York at lacrosse school right now. So things are kind of crazy for me and juggling it all. I mean, I'm going through a juice cleanse right now. Have
Oh
you ever
yeah.
done a 27-day juice cleanse?
I've never done it for 27 days. I did have orange juice this morning for breakfast, however, and that was delicious.
Gross.
But it was delicious. It was orange juice. What kind of juices are you making?
Well, they're all fresh pressed. They're flown in from Brazil more every morning.
Oh, I get mine from the supermarket. It's Florida orange juice. It's just
Oh,
a
okay.
okay.
Well,
I guess.
what's your next question?
All right. Yeah. What's your favorite animal? Teddy likes animals a lot. And I was wondering if you like animals.
I mean, they like make me itch a little bit. Like they're fun to see, I think, through binoculars like on safari. We did one year in Africa, and that was amazing. But I don't know. I'd say none.
Okay. Okay. So not a pet person. Got it. All right. So I want to talk about nutrition in running, and I know Holly has specific nutrition guidelines that she follows. She does like the vegetarian and the vegan thing. I don't know. Teddy doesn't do that. Teddy eats lots of eggs. Love eggs. In Spanish, eggs is huevos. Yeah, as I got a good accent too. Anyway, so I was wondering. Listen, talking about nutrition, I just recently did a review on a particular nutrition product. It was Science and Sport, the strawberry flavor, and I squirted it out, and it looked. I don't want to offend anybody here, but it looked a lot like baby batter. Okay, so in yeah, it was disgusting, and I was like, okay, the taste isn't great either. The imagery is bad, and then I go and I get the raspberry one, right? Okay, it tastes like cough syrup. All right, so like not only does it have the consistency in cough syrup, and and then it looks like what it looks like. It gives me flashbacks to when I go see my pediatrician. But either which way, what I was wondering was when you was running out there, what kind of nutrition is you using on the trails, or is Holly using? I don't know. I get
Well,
whatever.
I can
That's a
speak to this. Holly and I do share a similar dietary, not restrictions. I don't like to put limits on my life, but we are both predominantly vegetarian with some fish occasionally, but it has to be, wild caught and humanely sourced.
yeah.
Um, as far as on course, Holly has really been into the Never Second gels
Oh
exclusively.
yeah, I've heard
Those
of those. Those good.
seem to be working beautifully for her. She pairs that with Tailwind electrolyte also to get additional calories, and pickle juice, which is absolutely disgusting to me, but she swears it
Yeah.
works. And I think that's about it. It's keeping it simple and not putting a bunch of
Yeah.
crap in your system.
Yeah, I get that. I do. I mean, I've been trying to improve my diet as well. So, I ask people for different nutrition tips. Recently, there's been all this talk about low carb runners, high carb runners. How do I need 90 grams of carbs? Do I need 130 grams of carbs? I don't know. The thing is like, I get confused. So I just try to ask people their opinions. And never second is good. They seem to be new on the nutrition front, and they seem to be doing a good job. I really like it. I really like what they're doing here. So, Holly's been to UTMB. It's an absolutely huge event. It's massive. Everybody goes out there, and I was wondering. Being that there's so many Europeans. Speaking of which, really quick, I'm gonna throw this out there. Francesco Pupi is gonna be out at Canyons. Be careful for him, okay? He
Poopy?
shouldn't. Pupi, yeah, Pupi. Which is this is a good segue actually, because my question is, with so many Europeans, what does the start line of UTMB smell like? Is it smell like a dumpster full of hair and baby shit lit on fire, or what?
I was there watching her, so I mean I can tell it through my lens in my story.
I'd love to
Was
hear it.
chaotic, to be honest. Holly was lined up in what she thought was the actual starting chute, right? She gets up there early to get a good position, and all of a sudden, there are supposed to be waves of runners, right? Based upon your
Yeah.
level. And Holly was at her appropriate level, and all of a sudden, they yelled go, and everybody ran. Everybody ran like a stampede, and Holly had to jump over a metal fence to get into the proper whatever. Like, it was crazy. Her first action of UTMB was jumping over a metal fence. I'm
Wow.
livid. My athlete could have been injured in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. As a manager, I mean that's crazy. So you have to deal with all of that plus all of those all of the smelly Europeans. I mean, like, was it kind of like I've been to a farm before. I went to a camel farm, and oh man, those things is so stinky. I love animals, but the camels is stinky. Was it like that? Like, what was it like?
No, the start was in Switzerland for her particular race, which
Uh
they're
huh.
very clean. So
They're
that
clean.
was, yeah. And they had, those plastic units that you go into with the door that shuts behind you. And they had those. And then they had
Oh
these
yeah.
big, like, urinal looking things that men were just peeing out in the open. So that was a little bit,
Oh
that put
wow.
me off
Yeah.
a bit. It
That would
was
put me.
chaotic scene.
You're jumping over rails. There's people peeing all over the place. It sounds terrible, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe it's nice. Who knows?
But then,
Whatever.
like, the pictures of the course and her experience there was beyond anything she could have ever hoped for. So I don't
Yeah.
know if you can speak to that, Teddy, if you've ever experienced anything like, what I have in my life.
I haven't, and I envy the what you're able to do in whatever that traveling and stuff. I haven't done lots of traveling. All right, I haven't had that opportunity. I've been to some places, but maybe I'll go out to UTMB. I mean, you may not know this, but this is the fastest growing running podcast right now. So we're kind of expecting to be pretty famous here in about like 2 years or so. So we're probably gonna end up being announcing at UTMB. Me and my buddy James Loriello. We already talked about it. We had it all planned out. So that's probably what's going to happen. So then I'll be able to be there. But to answer your question more concisely, no, I have not.
Great. Well, good luck to you. I mean, it's a struggle to have privilege and fame. And
Yeah.
I can only hope for you one day that you can achieve that.
I hope for that for me too. And I appreciate what seems like a backhanded compliment of sorts, but we're going to move on from that because I want to keep this thing civil. Okay. I want to know, has there been a time when you, Holly, you've been on the trail and you've had that I should have died right there moment? I've had plenty of those where it's like you take a slip and you're like, oh my God, I almost fell off that cliff. What's yours?
Yeah, actually, Holly and I were running. I was doing some media for her. We were on the Stevens Trail in Colfax about 2 weeks ago. And for those familiar with that trail, it's an old mining trail that's perfectly graded. It's an old mule trail, but it's near death. It's actually certain death. If you fall off the side, and Holly clipped her toe and literally
Oh
almost fell
no.
over the cliff. This is a true
Oh man.
story. But I mean, just so you all know, I came in and I saved her. I was the one that warned her. And so I think, hearing my story about that is important.
I think so too. Were you able to get it on camera? We have footage of this, of her almost dying?
No, she asked me to delete the footage out of
Oh,
respect.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. That yeah, and that's actually out by Colfax. That's actually going to be close to where the 50K is going to be happening this coming week. Is that trail part of the 50K? Or they probably don't include that trail because there's probably lots of dumb runners that'll die, huh?
People would die. No, that's not.
Yeah.
It's not on the course. But Holly has been training really exclusively in the Auburn Canyons for the last 5 months, and
Yeah.
so she decided, why not, you know, jump into a 50K on Saturday and see what she can do.
Yeah, why not? And look, when we did the race preview on it, it's coming out tomorrow. My God, it is absolutely stacked out there. There's going to be some serious athletes. Holly's got a work cut out for her, but we're going to be rooting for her. We're going to be there. We're going to be rooting for her. It's going to be great. Does with the race coming up, does Holly have any pre-race rituals that she does?
Yeah, she likes to make a loaf of banana bread and eat that the
Oh,
days leading up.
I freaking love banana bread. I absolutely love banana bread.
I think it's it again like a little bit of a peasant style meal, but I mean I can see like if you add chia and flax and like beef it up a little bit with that, but I mean I think my recipe might be a little bit better, but she does do a banana bread and just general carb loading and no crazy beans or like broccoli because broccolis are
Ugh.
crucifers and you don't want to eat gas producing vegetables the night before a race. No
Yeah, you
broccoli.
definitely don't want to eat lucifers before a race. That sounds bad.
Yeah, it's
That sounds bad. That
gross.
sounds like
Sounds
it might
gross.
hurt like you the pooping would be problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Holly does this thing on Instagram, which is, I came across, I think it's hilarious. You are actually part of it. Sometimes you come on there and she does the interviews with you. She does the weather stuff. We've actually been looking for a weather person to give in their input. And Holly's on the short list. So, let her know that we'll be calling. But I was wondering, what got her into doing that creative stuff? Because, like, she's got all these different characters that she interviews and all that stuff. And, like, she does her weather. Like, what inspired that?
Yeah, Holly is a creative person, I think, in general, and she finds humor as a way to cope with difficult situations. So, in the midst of a historic snowstorm that we all survived, myself
Yeah.
included, okay,
Yeah.
80 feet of snow, in
80 feet?
80 feet.
Oh my
Okay.
God, that
I
is a
went
lot of
through that.
feet.
Okay. That is part of my tale and my story. But, anyways, Holly just started doing this weird weather thing just to kind of cope. And then she wanted to interview me. And then, because I'm already so famous, that I think I propelled
Yeah.
her to, stardom.
Yeah, stardom. Yeah, no, that's what I was kind of thinking, and I was like thinking, maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe I'll have like more interviews of you on the show, and then maybe you'll help propel Teddy stardom, and like, that would be great too, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know that you said that like you didn't like my name and stuff like that, but we could probably move past that, I think, maybe.
Maybe like a complete rebrand of you and everything about you, then, maybe.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go to the next question here before my feelings get hurt. What's your all-time favorite place to run? And like, if you had to pick one place for like the rest of your life, where would that be?
The ridge between Castle Peak and Basin Peak on Donner's Summit. I would just run back and forth.
Just
Well,
back and
that's
forth.
actually what Holly and I both share. And in fact, Holly said, just dust my ashes on this ridge line and I'll haunt it for the rest of my life.
That's
It's kind of
that's
creepy.
funny. Well, you say it's creepy. I think it's funny. I mean, I think that to have a sense of humor, to be like, hey, like you could like be a ghost and like there's people running by. So like there's this thing I do is like it's called like snake or stick when I'm running on the trails, and like I don't know if it's a snake or a stick, but they both scare me the same, and I jump like real like I get scared, and like I'm like that's kind of maybe that's what it is. It's trail runners who's ghosts, and there's actually scaring people that's on trails, or like in quails when they fly out of the bushes, they go brrr, when they fly out of the bushes. Maybe that's actually ghosts.
Maybe, but you seem like someone who would jump by seeing a snake or a
Well,
stick.
snakes is scary, and I don't and sticks look like snakes.
Kind of. I mean, maybe you should have your eyes checked.
I probably should. That's why I wear glasses, is because I can't see. I have sensitivity to light, and there's like a really big light in front of me, so you could see my face and stuff. But my eyes is real sensitive, and they're not good. So you're probably right.
Well, you need to work on that if you're going to be famous. The
You're
bright
right. I do.
lights, you need to get ready.
Okay. I need practice. You're right. I do. Okay. I want to do really quick. I want to do a really quick lightning round with you. Okay. You're gonna give me one or the other, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Let's see this. Let's try this. All right. Lightning round. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna put some music on in the background on the editing. Here we go. Ready? Pretend there's music. Okay. Carmen or Koros?
Chorus.
Okay. Spring or Matin?
What's the second one?
Martin.
Oh, yeah, the black and white thing. Yes, definitely that. Spring energy are liars.
Yeah, we'll get it. Okay, lightning round. That's right. I gotta keep going fast. I'm breaking my own rules. Desert runs or mountain runs?
Mountain.
Greatest trail runner of all time?
Killian Jornet.
UTMB or Western States?
UTMB.
Wow, I feel like there's gonna be some controversy there. I like that lightning round. That's good. I'm gonna start doing that more often.
Yeah.
Okay, so on this, the spring energy, man, I was so disappointed in those guys because like it tasted so good. The awesome sauce was so good, but here's the thing. They was lying about it, I think, and they still have it. Has anybody tested whether it's fixed or not?
They've reportedly fixed it, but what they lost was our confidence in their product. And once you burn a bridge, okay, then that's
It's
that.
gone.
You're
That's
done.
that. It's gone. You're done. You're right. You know what? That's right. That's why we are here at Chase and Trail. We endorse Never Second. Never Second. If you would like to sponsor the show and give us money, please do, because that's the last pitch you are going to get for free. All right, Holly. It has been absolutely. Oh, sorry. God, I have my notes here, and I didn't change it to local woman. I really feel like I am screwing up this interview, local woman, and I feel like I owe it to you to be able to have you on another time, you know, and you can talk about you and all of your struggles and all of those things. I think that would be good. But what I would like to do is Teddy's going to be out at Broken Arrow this year. I think you guys is going to be out there. But I wanted to know, what's some big plans you have coming up? I want to give you the final word. Tell the people what, you know, Holly wants them to hear, what you want them to hear. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Holly just wants everyone to know that your butt stinks just as much as the next guy. So all these elites out here thinking they're so cool and they don't give everyone else respect can just sit down and shut up. Because it's about running and it's about the joy. And if you lose that, you're completely lost.
I could not have said it better myself, local woman. On that note, what I would say is, you know, I've invited a lot of the elite runners on this show. The ones who have been here, you know what? Kudos to them. They're great. I had Eric the Puma on here. I had Garrett Corcoran on here. I had Grant Barnett on here, right? But you know how many people I asked that said no because they scared? They scared. They scared out there. And the thing is that you're right. These elite runners, they think they're special. They think they're special because what, you're fast? You're fast? Well, guess what? The reason you're getting paid is because all those other little people that you ignore, like Teddy, pay your freaking salary.
I can agree with you on that, Teddy.
I'm getting heated right now. I'm getting wound up. I haven't gotten this mad in a long time. I'll tell you what, local woman. And oh my gosh.
Get mad.
Well, like I said,
make a difference.
I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna try to make a difference.
Make a change.
I'm gonna try to be the change that I want to see in the world.
Yes. Yes. See,
okay,
I have this way about me that I just infect people with good things and joy, and so you're welcome.
I feel so infected right now. It's freaking crazy.
Good. You're welcome.
Good, yeah. So infected. Teddy's sick. Call me Teddy Tonsillitis. Anyway, all right, everybody. Thank you for joining Chasing Trail. Local woman, thank you for coming in and representing Holly Ryerson. Everybody, I'm going to put all the information down in the bio there, the links to Holly and local woman's pages and things like that, so you could go give them a follow. It's amazing. You're not going to regret it. Follow her at 50K Canyons. Watch our race preview tomorrow. We didn't talk about Holly all that much because my co-host said, nah, we're not going to talk about her. It wasn't my choice. Anywho, we're going to be rooting for her. Go down there. Follow her. Until next time, Teddy out.
Chasing trail, kicking up dirt, sweating my eyes, but it don't hurt. Fast feet, loose rocks, send it full sail. Ain't no stopping, we chasing trail.